This is another episode of TrendChat. I'm your host, Ryan Bledsoe. And as always, if you want to connect with us on social media, we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and it's all the same name, TrendChat 24/7. And thank you for listening in to this program. As I've advertised on Facebook and all over social media platforms that I just mentioned, we have Dr. Kelli Ward with us tonight, as we are doing this live. And like I said, I definitely want to say again, appreciate everyone who is on right now, and just want to get through some of the trends that are going on right quick before we get to Dr. Ward. But first I want to say I write for politichicks.com, and if you would like to read some of my articles on there, you can just go to politichicks.com/author/Brian Bledsoe. And speaking of that, Politichicks has a new book out called Politichicks, A Clarion Call to Political Activism, which is out now, available on Amazon and also Barnes & Noble. And right now, Anne-Marie Morrell and Morgan Brittany and Sonia Sasser are out on a book tour promoting the book. And also, I failed to mention that one of the articles that I contributed to is in the book, and it is the article about my journey to become a national delegate up in Cleveland for the Republican National Convention. So it's a great book all around. I mean, it's over 300 pages with articles from a range of different contributors of Politichicks, and there are 12 sections. And actually, where my article is part of the activism section of the book, which is part 12. And it, like I said, it ranges on a number of issues, from whether it's social issues, and then there's articles about whether it's healthcare or just overall politics. And I'm trying to look at it right now, actually, and on religion, parenting, and education, Islam, and history. And so each one of those has maybe 6 or 7 different articles from different contributors talking about a particular subject. And so, yeah, like I said, I recommend just picking that up on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. And right now, as far as the book tour, right now I think they're in New York, and they was in Washington, D.C., and they're going to South Carolina and North Carolina, and probably have some more dates coming out in the future. And like I said, I really am just honored to have anything that I've written in in a book. So I'm not going to get back on to what I said before. It is still surreal. I think that's the word I tend to use a lot when it comes to a lot of what's going on right now. So, but it's speaking also about Politichicks. We will be on TrendChat. We'll be on Politichicks, and probably this week, hopefully. And as of right now, we are on the Narrative Times website, and definitely appreciate having us on to, I guess, expand our reach, so to say. And like I said, definitely thankful for them for having us on their website. And so I just, today is 420. Now I say it that way. There's a whole section of people who see the day as just another day. It's April 20th. And then there's a whole other section of people who see this as, like I said, it 420. And it's funny. It's feel like there's one section of people have no clue about what like me just saying it, like, why is he talking about the date like this? And that's true. I mean, if you're not big into marijuana, then you probably don't know anything about what 420 means. So I'm one of those people. I don't know anything about 420. I know that it is I don't know any history, but all I know is to me, it's basically a national marijuana holiday. That's what at least that's what it comes across as. I mean, I don't have a 420 expert on to talk about it, but it's just that I just know of it mainly just because, from Twitter. Every year it's like a hashtag 420. Like for a period of time, I didn't even know what that meant. I was just like, what? So, and I just kind of glossed over. Then I guess after so long, you keep seeing it, kind of. Then you just Google it, and then you just say, "Oh, okay, it has something to do with marijuana or whatnot," and just kind of left it there for me at least. And, honestly, when I think about April 20th, it's my sister's birthday, so happy birthday, Tammy. So that's what I think about when it's come to April 20th. So, but that is definitely a trend, in the sense of there's a good section of people who are right now maybe can eat, pretty high right now. So who knows? But also you had if you're into the NFL, the NFL released their schedule earlier tonight, and so I guess it's just the people who really are into their teams want to kind of get their predictions together, saying, okay, we're gonna go either 16-0 or 0-16. Well, I guess not too many fans are gonna say that their team's gonna go 0-16 at least, but I guess they give them a sense at least. Also, as far as getting their season passes and knowing where they're gonna go for away games and whatnot. But so that's kind of what's going on in that sense. And also just thinking about next week, and I'll be at the NRA annual meetings at the end of the week, and so I probably will be only doing one show on Tuesday, and then I'll be in Atlanta for the NRA annual meetings and doing a couple of interviews, actually doing an article for Politichicks. That's I'll get more into that next week as far as the articles. It's an article I've been thinking about writing since last year, actually, and so now I'm actually going to write it, and like I said, I will talk more about that, and also maybe do an interview with the subject of the article that has to do with the NRA convention itself. So I was just thinking about as far as the NFL, because I used to be like really into the NFL. I was like try to watch all the games and whatnot, and it just seems like a lot of things, I've just lost a lot of interest in it. And personally, I'm not big into boycotts. I'm not a boycott guy myself, and I'm not saying that because like I feel like something's wrong with boycotting. That's farthest from the truth. But for me, I just think of it like, as a Christian and as a conservative, both together, if I truly boycotted businesses or organizations or whatnot because they did something that would be considered blasphemous, or maybe or just totally disrespectful or towards Christianity or God or conservatives, if I did that, I honestly really couldn't do anything. I couldn't buy anything. I probably couldn't. Yeah, I basically couldn't do anything, because all these companies, all these organizations are doing something somewhere in their business that I don't agree with in one way or another. So now, in the case of where you have a choice, then you between maybe like, let's say for instance, let's go with ice cream. I used to be big into Ben and Jerry's, and for a long time, I loved Ben and Jerry's. But as I became more engaged in politics and then seeing Ben and Jerry just being basically left of Bernie Sanders as far as their liberalism, it's not like I went like I boycott Ben and Jerry's. It's just like as time went on, I just keep seeing it's almost like every year, every couple of months they was advocating some liberal issue or something like that. Ben and Jerry's I'm talking about. And so unless I was growing less and less interested in wanting to buy Ben and Jerry's, to the point now I haven't had Ben and Jerry's in like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, probably longer than that. It's just because I have a choice. So now I love Bluebell. And I'm pretty sure maybe Bluebell probably is doing something somewhere that I probably don't agree with. But my thing is that when you have a company, especially a company when you have choices, but it's not like you have to eat ice cream anyway. But if you have something like that where you have a choice in going to another company for the same product, then, it's kind of like I want to go back to an app called Second Vote. I don't know how many of you know about this app, but it's an app I tend to use where they rate companies and organizations, just based on how they on their values, I guess. And if they're like, or a advocate to, say for instance, like they donate to Planned Parenthood or something like that, or anti Second Amendment, or pro illegal immigration, something like that. Like they take all those issues and they kind of make a score out of it, and so you can kind of see within the industry, like if let's say for instance we're talking about just ice cream or something, then you will see that Ben and Jerry's will be at the bottom, and Bluebell will be at least higher than Ben and Jerry's. So I tend to use that app a lot when it comes to knowing which company I would like to spend my money on. So that's kind of what I do. I mean, I'm not saying everyone has to do that, but that's something I do as opposed to boycotting every single thing. Because like I said, if I did that, I couldn't send nothing. I couldn't wear anything unless I had to do everything myself. Put it that way, because I would have to make my own clothes, have to ship everything myself, or have to build my own cars and all that, make the parts, all that. I'm just really getting detailed about that because that's how it would go. Because just boycotting one company is not really it, because you have to think about all the other components that come with, whether you're talking about one product or you're just talking about a company. Like there's a whole litany of other things that come with that one company or with that one product. So anyway, I didn't know I was gonna get this much into a rant about it, but I just wanted to bring that up because I was just thinking about, as far as, I was talking about the NFL schedule and just thinking about it. I was like, wonder how do I even got here? But yeah, just in talking about choices and like the NFL, where I've kind of have lost interest, and even something as recent as Colin Kaepernick and what he did last year with the anthem protests and whatnot, and how the NFL, kind of just kind of basically just, I would say like they was in support. I mean, which now let me make sure I say this, because I just want to, before anyone want to say like what you feel like he couldn't do it. Now, yeah, he could. It's that is his right. It's also anybody else's right to criticize. So, and if someone sees that and don't want to watch any more NFL games, that's their right, just as much as anyone that sees it and want to watch NFL games. So like for me personally, it was just something that kind of just made me not interested in watching. So I barely watched a lot of NFL because I just didn't care. And that's a lot of times that's what happens for me, that I just tend to lose interest, where it just slowly get to the point to where I don't care if it's on or not. If it is, I will watch it. It's not like I'm going to go into a bar anywhere if I'm getting something to eat, or if I'm at a Buffalo Wild Wings or something and the game is on, I'm going to tell them to turn it off. Like, I can't look at it or nothing. I'm not going to be like that. I'll watch it if it's on, but I don't go out my way to watch it now, really. I just don't care about it. And this kind of goes back to, I can remember actually when I become less interested in the NFL, where it started. And just to make sure I let everyone know, I didn't really get involved in politics or anything like this until like the end of 2007, the beginning of 08. So anything past that, I didn't care at all. So when it came to the NFL, the first instance that I, in my mind, started losing interest was when Rush Limbaugh was looking to become an owner of at that time, St. Louis Rams. And you had a lot of owners and players coming out against him because of that. Because he's a conservative, they didn't want him to be an owner, because they would bring up all these things he maybe said in this show, and they didn't like how he said this or that or whatever, or probably bring up what he maybe said when he was with ESPN and talking about Donovan McNabb or whatever, anything. And it's funny, I remember two people in particular, Robert Irsay, who was the owner of the Indianapolis Colts, and Scott Fujita. I forgot who he played with, but I remember those two in particular because they were so vocal about their, disapproval of Rush Limbaugh to become an owner of the St. Louis Rams. And I definitely remember Robert Irsay to the point, because I remember that year I was planning to go on a vacation of sorts in Indianapolis. I was going to stay up there for a couple of days and go to a game. And when I heard those comments from Robert Irsay, I canceled whatever plans I was going to do. Like, I haven't set any reservations or bought any plane tickets yet, but I just said, I don't even want to go up there and watch a game now, just because of that, because it just turned me off. I just didn't care to go no more, and so that's why I guess that's why I remember him in particular, because it kind of changed my vacation plans, because I really at that time I don't even want to go to a game, give him any money if he's basically gonna say he doesn't like people like me, basically, or people that like Rush Limbaugh. So, and I mean, that's kind of how I feel on a lot of these things. If a company tells me through their policies or whatnot, or kind of like Starbucks saying that, in a way, if you are conservative or have these particular values, then we don't want you to drink our coffee, which is fine by me. I don't drink coffee anyway, but it's if a person or movie star or celebrity or whatever, or a company or business make statements like that, then why would I bother being a customer of yours then? Because I mean, you basically are saying you saying you don't like me, so why should I even patronize you? So anyway, I said that was a long rant, and then I went into another rant about the rant. Okay. But hey, this is TrendChat. So before I get to Dr. Kelly Ward. I know so many people are just like, wait, when is he gonna get to it? But I want to talk about a group called the Founding Project, and just thinking about where they're getting like all the everything together right now to launch a website to where they say they are going to take civics to citizens. And I'm really looking forward to this to get started, and look forward to having some of them on to give a lot more details. Because if you've been listening to this program for the past 22 episodes, you basically heard me say the same thing about the Founding Project over and over again. And I guess people probably like wondering if you have any more details. Well, I don't have too many more details than that. But when the website get going, I would guess have some of them on, and then they would definitely get more in depth as far as everything that they're looking to do in the future and what their goals are as far as getting, I guess, educating more people on the founding documents, and basically having more informed citizens as far as what does it mean to be a citizen of this country. So with that being said, it's time. Now it is time to get to my interview with Dr. Kelli Ward. We recorded this interview a couple of days ago, and definitely appreciate having her given her time to speak with us for a couple of minutes, and just want to make sure everything is ready to go. And here's my interview with Dr. Kelli Ward. Hello, this is TrendChat, and I'm your host, Brian Bledsoe, and we are pleased to have Dr. Kelli Ward, friend of the show, and this is actually her second time on the show. How are you doing?
Hey, Brian, it's great to be with you. I'm doing great. You know, the weather in Phoenix is perfect, and I think that the direction our country is going in is pretty darn good, too.
Yeah, I definitely would agree. And actually, given that we are close to, I guess, the end of President Trump's first 100 days, how do you think everything's going so far?
You know, I think it's going very well. Of course, I think there have been some bumps in the road. Mostly those are the establishment politicians getting in the way of the Trump agenda, from what I can see. And I think that those bumps are going to smooth out, that the Republican Party is going to come together, and that we are actually going to make America great again. At least that's what I hope.
Yeah, I noticed there's been some bumpy road as far as, I guess, with the Obamacare replacement plan, and given that you're a doctor, I guess I want to ask specifically about that. So,
yes.
Do you think we're actually going to get like actual repeal of Obamacare?
You know, I certainly hope so, because for almost a decade, 7 years, the Republican Party has been running on full repeal of Obamacare. And, I think that they should have started from the bill that they proposed and that they passed through the House and the Senate in 2015 that was vetoed by Barack Obama, because that bill was a full repeal bill. It was only 16 pages, and it had basically unanimous Republican support. Now, those insiders, those political elite Republicans who were just using the Obamacare issue as a way to raise money were going to be exposed. They were going to be exposed if that same bill were put forth. And so that's why we got this crazy plan, the Rhino Care, which is repeal in name only care from Paul Ryan and the leadership. And so I think that they've smartened up on the process, that they're doing more things kind of behind the scenes, but not hidden, but just kind of having those conversations that might be tough conversations with the other Republicans rather than out in the media. And I think that that's going to be a good strategy for moving forward.
Now, do you think, as far as with everything that's happened with this whole Obamacare replacement and how it's not going as smooth as many thought, do you think this is going to make it harder as far as any other President Trump's issues, as far as maybe border security and anything else he's looking to do?
I think that having these Republican and name-only people in office is what makes it difficult for President Trump to get his agenda through. Because whenever he was out on the campaign trail and he was talking about securing the border and building the wall and stimulating the economy and America First jobs and repealing Obamacare, and making this country safe again, both from the law and order perspective and from the immigration and the national security perspective. All of those things were lauded, obviously, by the Republican electorate and by the American electorate. And so to see these guys who have been there, sometimes for decades, stand in the way of what the American people want, I think that that's going to show up in the 2018 midterm elections. We are going to see some changes. Those people that are the swamp dwellers on both sides, Republican and Democrat, are going to be taken out. And come 2019, January of 2019, we are really going to be able to accelerate making America great again.
And definitely, hopefully, you are a part of that in 2019, because we, if anyone doesn't know, Dr. Kelli Ward is running for U.S. Senate in the great state of Arizona. And
yes,
what is all going on with your campaign so far?
You know, the campaign is going great. It's great to talk to you, Brian, because, you know, you have a reach across the entire country. And though people in other states can't vote for me, I can vote for them when I get to the United States Senate. That's the beauty of the Senate races. They really have become nationalized and really have so much support across the whole country. But of course, condensed and concentrated in Arizona, because that's where I've got to get the vote and get the vote out. But it's going great. I'm leading in the last poll, leading Jeff Flake by 7 points. So I don't want to lose the seat. I want to have a strong Republican in as our nominee, so that come November, we're able to take the Democrat away and keep that seat in Republican hands. I worry Jeff Flake will lose it to the Democrat.
Now, I don't know if you heard about, saw anything as far as the town halls that are going on, especially with Senator Flake. Did you get a chance to see it or hear about any of that?
Oh yes, of course the left is kind of orchestrating some of this false faux outrage at these town halls. And I actually attended Congressman Biggs. I went to part of his town hall, and the difference that I saw at Biggs' town hall versus Flake's town hall is that Congressman Biggs has conservative Republican supporters who were there to stand up against those indivisibles and those political organizers who were there at his rally to disrupt and dismay. Senator Flake, on the other hand, only had disruptors because he does not have a strong base of support in the Republican Party and the conservative part of the party, and in Arizona in particular, because he forgot where he came from.
That's true, because I was part of a town hall in Texas with Representative Pete Sessions, and that exact scenario happened because he is such a moderate that when his town hall was going on, he had nothing but disruptors, and everyone just shouting at him, and the conservatives that were there were also not agreeing because he was for the whole rhino care.
Yes. And you know, Jeff Flake caved into the pressure, even from a 16-year-old girl. A 16-year-old girl got up and basically demanded that taxpayers pay for her birth control, that is something that is a right, that the taxpayers should have to pay for that. And he basically caved in and said, yes, you're right. Now, for me, I think that if you're gonna need birth control, if you're having, doing that act, and you don't want to have a child, then it's for recreation. If you do want to have a child, you don't need birth control. And so the government needs to stay out of that arena altogether.
So if you had the same scenario that happened to you, that happened to Senator Flake, how would you respond to that 16-year-old girl?
I would have told her, that birth control is only needed if you're going to have recreational sex, and that the government does not pay for our recreation. They don't pay for me to go to the beach or to go out on the lake or to go camping or to go hiking. Those are things that I have to pay for myself. And, if you're going to want to have a child, then you're going to have intercourse, and you're not going to need birth control. And so that's why the government should stay out. he caved in about the border, about amnesty, about Obamacare and fully repealing it. He caved in again and again and again, which I was surprised that the disruptors weren't happier with him because he agreed with them on so much.
Well, they really don't care. Cause really, that's what happened at the town hall for Pete Sessions.
Yes.
With all those moderate answers that he was giving, I'm like, are y'all really listening to what he's saying? He's actually agreeing with with most of what y'all saying.
Yes.
So,
it's exactly right. They really should actually like him because he agrees with so much of what they're protesting about.
Well, I don't want to keep up too much of your time. I appreciate you. And personally, I just want to say thank you to you and Michael for supporting me and the show. And I just want to thank you for that support. And hopefully I'll get out there and to door knock and help you out there in Arizona sometime.
Well, I thank you, Brian. You're awesome. You are, just a conservative patriot that really cares about this country. You care about your state, you care about this country, and you care about the direction we're going in. So I thank you for having me on here and keep up the fight. And I hope people that are listening will go and help me keep up the fight at KelliWard.com. Kelli with an I, because I am a conservative champion for we the people. So keep it up.
All right. Thanks so much.
And thanks to Kelli Ward for joining us a couple of days ago, and hope you enjoyed that interview. And I guess that will be all for tonight. I just wanted to say again, thanks for listening in. And this past week has been full of trial and error. And, everyone that's been listening, they are going along with this with me and basically seeing it all happen live for the most part. And I'm hoping you're noticing progress, hopefully, as I just continue to learn more and more, because kind of like on Tuesday, kind of not knowing how to take calls live and how to do a live interview and whatnot, and now understanding that and learning little bits and pieces to get to, I guess, to sound somewhat more professional. But y'all are hearing it. Y'all are just on the ride with me, basically. So, and I just appreciate it. I look at some of the stats of the show and just seeing the people who are listening, and it's to see the number of plays and how many are listening to the show, and then to see anything more than one is still something I'm shocked by, but I am grateful and look to be here as long as I want, really. But and I'm definitely having fun doing this. Even though it's all this trial and error is going on, every bit of this is fun. Sometimes it could be a little nerve-wracking when things don't go exactly right, but even that is just kind of learning from that mistake and then going on from there. So, like I said earlier, I'll probably only do one show on Tuesday and be focused on what I need to do at the NRA annual meetings. And hopefully, whoever's listening, if you're going to the NRA convention in Atlanta next week, hopefully we'll get a chance to meet up and maybe do an interview or something together or something. I don't know, but definitely like to meet up with everyone. Even on Facebook, I think I have maybe 2,000 some friends on Facebook, and I haven't met all of them. And a lot of times, I don't know about you, and I'm finna go into another rant about this, trust me, but I'm just gonna say this. It is kind of funny when your Facebook friends, right? And a lot of times, if you're conservatives, you tend to go to the same event. So let's say if it's like CPAC or something like that. And you're Facebook friends and y'all both at CPAC. And you might see that person from a distance and you're like, oh, I think I'm friends with that person. And you see them and you thinking to yourself, should I go? Should I introduce myself or should I say something? You kind of don't, because all you know is from, especially if you haven't been interacting as much on Facebook, like your Facebook friends, but you rarely say anything other than maybe happy birthday, if that, And so when you get these situations going at a CPAC or maybe like the NRA convention coming up, I know me personally, I've had situations, good and awkward. I can't say it was bad. It was just awkward where the awkward one was when I thought I saw someone that I knew from Facebook. It turned out that it wasn't. And that was an awkward situation where I'm saying their name and they're looking at me and I'm like, aren't you so-and-so? And they're like, no. I'm like, oh, I thought you was, yeah. So that gets kind of awkward, but, I'm going to keep on doing me in that sense. And normally what I do, if I see someone that I am friends with on Facebook, I don't care if we haven't interacted that much. I still would introduce myself that, hey, hey, I'm Brian. We're friends on Facebook. And sometimes when I say that, they're like, oh, we are? They kind of had a look on the face and then like, oh, yeah. So I guess those awkward situations, in a way, it's just funny. And, those situations can be a story here on TrendChat, So, anyway, like I said, so I guess I will see y'all on Tuesday. And until then, I will chat with you later.